I'm trying to adjust some camera angles on mobile. These live stream things are a little finicky because I gotta figure out where I'm putting the phone, and that looks about right. All right, let's do this. If you've never been on a live before, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. If you have been here before, then you know the first thing that we do is warm up together. We're going to warm up with our hip cars right now. What I want you to do is stand up nice and straight and tall and begin by lifting your knee up directly in front of you. All right. Then we're going to open up that hip directly to the left. Open, 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 open. We're going to rotate the leg so that the ankle comes up, the knee is about to the same height so that you're level. All right. From here, we're going to keep rotating. We're going to bring the knee down, lift the ankle up, feel the contraction in your hamstrings. They're going to be crazy, telling you, what are you doing? And bring that leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch in the front of your hip. That is one rep. We're doing 10 of these. Let's go. If you need help, hold on to something for balance. All right. Let's continue. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's two. Ooh, my hip just cracked. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. We do this show every single day to build a little bit of consistency, to support you in building a little bit of consistency. And we are doing this because most of us, since we sit all day and don't do much else, our legs need a little bit of extra love, extra intention to move better. I think that was eight. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Whew, that leg is tired. This is my third live stream of the day. We did a morning start, and I'll keep on talking one second. Let's finish and start this leg. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. All right, let's keep going. We did, because my girlfriend and I work on these lives together. I do the camera facing work, and she does the making sure nothing goes crazy or bad while I'm distracted because I'm all over here making sure the movements are being demonstrated stuff. And occasionally reads off the comments for me. So we did three lives today. The first one was our regular Saturday, Sunday morning show where we do some back posture, mobility, joint, gentle warm up stuff to help you move a little bit better once you're waking up, trying to undo some stiffness from your sleep, I guess, pre rest of your day. And I have no idea how many of these we've done. I'm gonna pretend that's eight, nine. And then, because today was the World Cup finals, I don't know if you know this, I'm making a video series around learning new skills. TikTok is not connected. Oh, right, because my earbud is automatically connected to a different one. Hold on. Sorry. Give me a second. Let's try that again. How about now? How about now? There we go. Should be good. I'm going to jump over to TikTok real fast, and that looks like it should be connected. Is the audio better? Is the audio better on TikTok? Hey, True Blue says evening, everyone. Hello, hello. Jack says hello. Hi. Welcome back, everybody. All right. Audio is better. Cool. Continuing. We just did 10 hip curls going forward. Let's do 10 hip curls going back. All right. When we go backwards, we're flexing the hamstrings, we're flexing the glutes. We're lifting this leg back behind us, feeling a stretch here in the front. Then from here, we're going to lift that leg up to this side. We're going to rotate the knee down, lift the ankle up. Bring the ankle down, lift the knee up, and then bring the whole thing to the front. All right. I'm going to face you so it's easier to mirror me. Let's begin. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's two. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's three. So, anyways, today it's the World Cup Finals. I've been making some content around trying to learn some new skills, and because it's the World Cup, we try to learn some cool soccer ball skills. All right. We worked on some juggling over the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. We worked on rainbows, neck stalls, and I got a lot better at spinning the ball on my finger. So four tricks. And in the middle of the day, we did a live stream. just kind of spontaneously, just throwing it out there to do a couple of drills out in the park and show proof that I can actually do some stuff now. The live was over on YouTube. That's 10, by the way. We're going to move on to the other side. And I haven't done anything with it because right after I did the live, I went to go actually watch the World Cup, and I came home, and then the whole day has passed. So if you want to watch and flip through something, that's available somewhere on YouTube, I presume. Let's continue. We got one last leg to do. Bring that leg down and back. Side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's one. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's two. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's three. But today, I got more neck stalls than I've gotten on any day, and it's a much higher percentage success rate than I've ever had. And it was the final day that I was, actively trying to pursue a goal. So that was awesome. I think I gotta go check the video later, but I think I was able to juggle the ball 20 times back and forth. It was probably a little bit all over the place, but I did do really well. That's eight. A bunch of times in like the 10s and 15s ranges, and then a whole bunch of times I completely flopped and failed. So, whatever. That is, I think that's 10. That is our hip curls. Wow, these go way easier when I'm talking about something else and not counting. Woo! That is our first warm-up exercise. We're gonna move on into our second warm-up exercise. We're gonna do some elephant walks. All right. I want you to get ready to fold at your hips and bring your belly button down towards the ground. Let's go. Ooh. You don't have to go fast. I kind of dipped fast. You don't have to move as fast as I just did. All right. From here, I want you to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Just relax if you can. We're gonna have some movement. Bend one knee, straighten out the other leg, fold your belly button down some more, and we're gonna switch the knee that's bent. We're gonna switch the leg that's straight. All right. So we're gonna go boom. Feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Squish back. Woo. Keep switching. If you're joining in for the first time right now, I want you to know that this is a 45 to 60-minute long side split and hip mobility show. This is hip mobility. These are hamstrings, right? And side splits is just advanced hip mobility. All right. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're putting ourselves through right now a little bit more fun, a little easier to stay consistent with. So, if you like the combination of things, hip mobility, because you need it, side splits, because it sounds cool, and practicing a little bit of consistency because you're a procrastinator and you're not making progress because you're not doing the things that you need to be doing often enough to make progress, then make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep on coming back. Set an alarm, set a calendar invite, and hopefully you enjoy the show enough that you actually, obey the alarm and click into the calendar invite. All right, let's go. We're going to go a little deeper now. I want you to fold your belly button down into the ground just a little bit more. Your hamstrings should be a little looser after doing all of those. And keep on switching back and forth. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Pop into a little squat. Come on up into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise, right? Shake out your legs. Shake out your arms. Shake out your body. We're getting loose. We're getting moving. We're going to move on into our third warm-up exercise. It's called thoracic rotation. Once your legs have kind of shaken out a little bit, you've relaxed your muscles a little bit, we're going to get right back into the position we just came out of. So one leg is bent, one leg is straight. We're folding our belly buttons down towards the ground, like so. We're taking the arm from the bent leg side, reaching across to the straight leg. I want you to push off of your leg bone right here, between the knee and the ankle, the shin bone. Not on the ankle, not on the knee, but on the bone. All right. We're going to push off that bone. We're going to help rotate our bodies. We're going to try our best to stick our arms straight up into the air if you can. If you're like at an angle, that's fine. Just try your best. All right. From here, I want you to rotate your neck so that your hands so that your head is looking at your hands. And then we're going to inhale. We're going to exhale and reach over our shoulder. Woo, that is half a rep. We gotta do the other side. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Look at the hand. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Woo. Exhaling is very important. It lets the pressure out of your chest so that you can actually twist. So don't hold your breath. All right, that's one. We're doing 5 in total. Let's go. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Look at the hand. Inhale.
Exhale, reach. That's 2. You can experiment a little bit with how wide your legs are to find a more comfortable position for you. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Take your time. Relax into the rotation. You don't have to push yourself if you don't feel comfortable. If something feels painful, stop. All right, let's keep going. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Look at the hand. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3. The other side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 4. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 5. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Woo! That is our third warm-up exercise. Hopefully your spine is getting a little bit looser. You're moving a little bit better. You can experiment if you know how to. Do some body rolls. Do some wiggling from side to side. Check out those hips. Turn your body into jello. Flop around. Let those back muscles relax. A lot of us spend our day sitting, whatever we're sitting, and all these muscles in the back lock up. They don't move very well. And then you start sort of waddling around like a drunk penguin because your spine doesn't move. And what we just did was trying to help prevent some of that. All right, so thoracic rotation, done. That's our third warm-up exercise. Fourth warm-up exercise to wrap our warm-up up. We're gonna do some classic switches. What I want you to do is open up your legs. I want you to drop down into a deep squat on one side. All right, it's gonna look a little bit like this, but this is gonna be really advanced for most people. If you can come down just a little bit into a squat on this side and keep this leg relatively straight with the toes kind of pointing up, that would be great. All right, wherever you are, here, 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 wherever it is, our next step is to move our butts that way. All right, if you're low to the ground, you might want to put your hands down to help yourself come on over. If you're a little bit higher off the ground, you might find it's a little easier to go wee and just slide on over. You might need a little bit of support for your hands if you're somewhere in the middle. And you can absolutely go grab something for support. All right, a counter, a table, a coffee table, those are all work great. Let's go. We're doing 10 reps. I'm going to count whatever you just did as 1 rep. We're going to do 9 more. Come on down. Come on across. And come on back. That's 2 reps. Remember, we talked about putting your hands down for support to help bring you over to the other side and using them to help bring it back. If you don't need it, feel free to skip it and make it a little bit more challenging. Keep on going. Across and back. That's 3. Keep on going. Try to sink a little deeper into your stretch, so make sure you're breathing. Once you get to the other side, I want you to inhale. Exhale. See if you can squish yourself deeper into the stretch, and let's keep going. All right, that is 5. At this point, if you're looking for more of a challenge, I got stuff for you. But if you don't need more of a challenge, you're already good right here, feel free to keep going. All right, we're going to sit up a little bit straighter now. We're going to stick our arms out in front of us to help counterbalance our weight. We're going to keep going. That's 6 and 6. Keep on going. 7 and 7. At this point, if your knees are telling you, hey, this is a little too much for me, you need to chill out a little bit, you can feel free to come up a little bit, then come across, and then come on back down, sink into it. All right? Up, across, down. That's 8. Let's go. Another. Up, across, down. Up, across, down. That's 9. Last one. We're going to do some squats if you want to. You can absolutely do whatever variation that you wanted so far. And if you're ready for more, let's go do some squats. Power through the leg. Come back into standing. Slowly come down on the other side if you can. Exhale, breathe, and let's go. That is 10 reps. We did Cossack switches, Cossack slidey things, and a Cossack squat to wrap. That is our warm-up. If you've never been on the show before, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. All right, we do this every single day to practice a little bit of consistency, to help you stay consistent, to help me stay consistent, to make it easier to stay consistent while we do all this suffering on the floor. So if you need help with consistency, you want to work on hip mobility, maybe you need to work on hip mobility, and you think side splits are sick, You should absolutely hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back because we do a lot of that, like basically every single day, starting like 17 minutes ago. That time. Cool. All right. Let's move on into our stretches. The first stretch we're gonna do is a hamstring stretch. What I want you to do is grab a little bit of padding to pad your knees, protect them. If you have some stuff, fine, great, perfect. Throw it down. We're ready to go. If you don't have fancy foam flooring, if you have a stuffed animal your dog has ripped apart, stick that dog toy back together, stick it under your knee, you're ready to go. Dirty towel, dirty laundry, roll it up, stick it under your knee, you're ready to go. Old flip flops, sneakers you don't care about that are too ugly to wear out, but the foam is still fine. Stick it under your knee, and you're ready to go. Decorative pillow, couch cushion, all those things are also great too. All right, just a little bit of padding for your knees. From here, we are going to. I'm gonna take a look at the camera so I don't cut myself off too much. Boom, we're gonna kneel up nice and straight and tall. Flex your glutes, flex your abs, nice and tall. Next, we're gonna extend one leg out in front, and we're going to fold our belly buttons down to our thighs. All right. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale, fold. As soon as you get stuck, your hamstrings are going, no, I don't like this. Feel free to just chill and breathe. All right. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg. And we're going to breathe again. Same thing. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Two. One more. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Three. Sink a little deeper into your stretch if you can. All right. Next, we're going to do some gentle movement. What I want you to do is bring that knee up like you're lunging. All right. And I want you to fold your upper body down to that leg. We're practicing the skill of folding forward. When your knees are bent, you should find that you can fold really well. All right. The goal of our hamstring stretch, the maximum badassery that you can get from this hamstring stretch, is extend the leg and bring your whole chest down to meet the leg, right? So we're just practicing. Next, from here, I want you to put your hands down on the ground on either side. I want you to slowly straighten out that leg. Feel that hamstring stretch build. I want you to keep trying to keep your chest down towards the ground, right? And then we're going to reset and do that 4 more times. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. As you do a couple of these, you might notice that your legs are flexible enough that you don't need to bend the knee as high. You can fold your chest down more. Great. Do that. Take that extra space. Feel that stretch. Get lower to the ground. We've done about 5 now. All right. We're going to move on. And by moving on, I really mean we're going to fold a little bit deeper. We're going to do something called the inhale, exhale, fold. It's 3 steps, sort of. We're going to take a big breath in on the inhale. Inhale. Then we're going to slowly exhale all the air we just inhaled, while we focus on bringing the belly button down towards the ground, down towards our legs. All right, folding. Inhale, exhale, fold. So we inhale, then we exhale and fold at the same time. Ready? Let's go. Big breath in, huge breath. Inhale. Exhale and fold, 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 fold. Belly button down. Woo! Your hamstrings should be feeling quite crazy right now, and that's perfect. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. We're going to do this thing again. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. In fact, we're going to do another time after this. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3. Take your time with these. I might be going a little bit fast for you. Feel free to go at your own pace because I am going to slow down quite a bit right now on this 5th one so that you can get a nice deep hamstring stretch. All right? Give it a light slap of encouragement, and we're going to fold a little bit more. Inhale, exhale, fold. Y'all ready? If you are not folding any further, you're stuck, you're completely done, feel free to stop. All right? But challenge yourself. Make sure you're done because you're done, not because I don't want to do it anymore. Because that's not how you make progress. That's how you procrastinate making progress. All right. Inhale, exhale, fold. Let's go. Big breath in. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. Inhale, relax. That's 1. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. 3. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 3. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's one knee. Chest. Straighten it out. That's two knee. Chest. Straighten it out. That's three knee. Chest. Straighten it out. That's four knee. Chest. Straighten it out. That's five. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds. We'll be done with this leg. All right. Finally, I know. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. If that felt like a lot, if that felt crazy, that's because it probably was a lot. It was a little crazy. All right. We spent a bunch of time on one leg. Now we got to match it on the other side. So more crazy for you. All right. Come on down back into this kneeling position. Extend one leg out in front and get ready to fold. Big breath in. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Whew. As soon as your hamstrings go, ooh, no more, we're ready to inhale, relax. Inhale. Relax. See if you can let your body drape over your foot, drape over your leg. Fall into that stretch. Inhale, relax again. Whew. That's two. Let's go. Third time. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into the stretch. That's three. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. 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 That's three. Two more. Knee, chest, straighten. That's four. Knee, chest, straighten. That's five. We are ready to fold a little deeper. Let's go. Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Bring that belly button down. Woo! Feeling that stretch in your hamstrings. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg again. Inhale. Relax. That's two. Third time's a charm. Inhale. Relax. That is three. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Let's keep going. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's one. Knee, chest, straighten. That's two. Knee, chest, straighten. That's three. Knee, chest, straighten. That's four. Knee, chest, straighten. That's five. We are ready to fold one last time. Wrap up this leg. All right. Inhale, exhale, fold. We're taking a big breath in, slowly exhaling. We're folding at the same time. Ready? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold, 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 fold. Exhale. Woo. Inhale, relax. Two more. Inhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Third time, let's do it. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Knee up, chest down, straighten out. Knee up, chest down, straighten out. That's one. Knee, chest, straighten. That's two. Knee, chest, straighten. That's three. Knee, chest, straighten. That's four. Knee, chest, straighten. That's five. And we're going to hang out here for 30 seconds. All right. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, almost done, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. I probably should have reminded you of this earlier, but your stretch should not look like mine. All right. When I give the instructions, when I tell you to breathe, when I tell you to lean forward, when I tell you to fold, that is relative to wherever you are at. We I've been doing this for like 500 plus days, like every day, 500 plus days, like an hour a day for a long, 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 long time. All right. So I'm not saying that you can't progress faster than me. I'm not saying that you can't be much more skilled at a particular stretch than me. But what I'm saying is I've been committing a lot of time to this. And if I am doing something that feels crazy to you at this moment, don't let that stop you from continuing to practice. Don't let my move looking different from your move stop you from practicing. All right. Now that we've covered that, I'm not really sure what my next segue is, other than that's our first warm up exercise. Sorry, that's our first stretch. We're gonna move on into our second stretch. All right. We're gonna do the pigeon. No, we're not. No, what am I even saying? My words are going all over the place. We are going to move on into the butterfly stretch. Get rid of your cushion. You don't need it anymore. But what we do need is the wall. Bring your low back, your hips, your shoulders, your head, everything up against the wall. Bring your feet together. Pull everything in towards your groin. And we're ready to begin. All right. The purpose of this stretch is stretch out your groin muscles, your inner thigh muscles. The way we're going to do this is by focusing on bringing our knees down into the ground. I want you to build strength and control. So I want you to flex your glutes. I want you to flex your outer thigh muscles. I want you to use your own strength and control to open up your legs, bring the knees down into the ground. If you're new to this and you're like, what the heck are you talking about? That's crazy. Just focus on two things. One, you're feeling more of a stretch here on the inner thighs. You're trying your best to do something with your glute muscles because they should be working. And two, if your knees went down towards the ground just a little tiny bit, you're moving in the right direction. All right. Now, the most important chunk or the most intense chunk is coming right now. We're going to take our hands, we're going to apply a little bit of pressure just inside of the knee, and we're going to push our legs straight down. All right. Inhale, exhale. On that exhale, see if you can push a little bit harder. All right. We're going to hold this position for 30 seconds. Every time you exhale, I want you to see if you can push your legs down a little bit deeper. If you're feeling a sharp, intense pain, feel free to stop. If it just feels like you're getting stretched out and you're going, and it's mildly uncomfortable because the stretching is going to be mildly uncomfortable, then keep applying pressure. All right, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 19, 18, 17, 16. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. 14, 13, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 0. That is our stretch. Hopefully, you realize that the parts of the stretch where I was no longer counting was because I was exhaling. I was trying to apply more pressure to push my own legs deeper into the ground. And hopefully there was enough time in there for you to copy me and do the same. And we're able to get into a deeper, stretched out position. All right. Relax for a second. Give your wrists a gentle shake. When they're pushing down, you're fighting real hard. They get real tired. So give them a little gentle flop. Don't go crazy whipping them around because that's your wrist joints tend to be pretty sensitive. Your wrist tendons tend to be, and ligaments tend to be pretty sensitive, right? So be gentle. Next, flap the wings of your butterfly, all right? Flap them up and down. Get them moving. Get your muscles waking up. They got all messed up, getting stretched and stuff, and now we need them to work because we got to do our third stretch. All right, we're going to move on into a standing pancake. A standing pancake looks a little bit like this. We're opening up our legs just a little bit, nothing crazy, and we're folding at the waist to bring our belly buttons down towards the ground. Whee! Ugh. The goal of the pancake is to fold your upper body down in between your legs as best as you can with a straight-ish back. All right. If it rounds a little bit at the end, that's fine. But in general, straight-ish back. If you have bad balance and you're a little bit afraid to be kind of folding forward, you can sit down and change this from a standing pancake into a seated pancake. And your version could look like this. We're still folding. Whee! And we're still leaning forward. But because you're seated, because your legs are wide, you're not going to have a risk of fall. All right? So if that's what you need, find a nice sturdy thing to sit on and go ahead and get started. If you're not very flexible, sit on something taller. If you're more flexible, feel free to sit on something a little bit lower. But for the general population, if your balance is okay, we're ready to do the standing pancake. All right? We're folding our belly buttons down towards the ground. And we're trying to bring our chest, our abs, our belly button, everything down. To make gravity feel even more intense, you can stick your hands out in front of you like so, have your biceps by your ears, and exhale. See if that helps to let you fold forward a little deeper. All right? That is the basics of us getting deeper into our stretch. If you're feeling strong, you've been doing this for a while, feel free to grab your legs, straighten out your back a little bit, and try to pull yourself forward. That might help you fold a little bit deeper. All right? Finally, last thing I think. If you want, you can open up your legs out a little bit wider. This is completely optional. It's going to change up the feeling of this thing. If you've never done this before, try it with your legs a little closer together and then widen it slowly over time if you're a regular experiment. All right, let's go. We are extending our arms. We are folding forward. We're letting gravity pull us into the ground. And 30 seconds. Let's do it. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Put your hands down. You can come out of that stretch now. All right. If your legs are too wide and they're too stuck right now, you can try to wiggle your toes in towards the center of your body. Wiggle your heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in, heels and toes until your legs are underneath you. Walk your hands up your legs and whew, when you're back into standing, I want you to give yourself a little gentle shake. All those moves put a lot of stress and tension on your body. We want you to relax, get loose. All right. Whew. That's a third stretch. We're gonna move on to stretch number 4. I'm pretty sure last night we did the figure 4, so today we're gonna do the pigeon stretch. If you're a regular, hop into whichever one you prefer, but I'm going to be demonstrating the pigeon. What we're gonna do is take this leg, cross it over to the other side, and basically bring that leg up to the chest. All right, this is the general position that we're getting into. You're going to feel a stretch here in the outside of your hip. That is a glute muscle. You're going to feel a stretch here in the hamstrings. And you're going to feel a little bit of pressure here where you're actually doing the folding. All right. Let's take that position, this one, and bring it down towards the ground. Come on down. Sit your butt on the ground. Bring that leg across. I want you to notice two things. One is this middle line down the center of your body. All right. Between your eyes, down your nose, down to your belly button. This line. I know when I'm seated like this, it kind of like curves, but straight line. I want you to find the midpoint between your knee and your ankle. All right. Somewhere around here for me. It might be a little bit different for you depending on how long your legs are and you know how much mobility you got in your hips. But we're gonna aim to fold this middle line down to this midpoint right here. All right. And that's it. That's the pigeon. Whee! Fold, 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 fold. Come on down. And ta-da. That's the basics. All right. We got some options for the side leg thing over here. If you want, you can just get comfortable. Whatever is comfortable for you, hang out in that. Perfect. You can extend the leg out to the side. You can have it sort of bent. When it's bent like this, most of us are going to feel a whole bunch of pressure right here. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but as soon as you start folding forward, that pressure will usually go away so you can focus on that forward fold. But if you've done some yoga before, you've done some other activities where you've heard of the pigeon before, you've probably seen the version of it that looks like this. The leg is crossed and then his back leg is extended back behind you. For our purposes, it's not that important to be in this position because for the most part, you're trying to fold as far forward as possible, and that's not going to put a whole bunch of stretch here anyway. But if you want to work on this position, you got a couple of quick tips to make it a little bit easier on your knee, easier on your hip. The first, actually the main tip, is to elevate your front leg. All right. When your front leg is elevated, your hips are going to come up higher off the ground, and it's going to give you more room to have this leg back underneath you for you to get into this back leg behind you position. And you can still focus on folding forward just the same, but you get to stretch it out as much as you want. Cool? So what you use to elevate your leg is not that important. Just make sure it's stable, make sure it's sturdy. You got a couch, coffee table, comfortable big chair or something, those are all perfect. Cool? Now that you know way too much about the pigeon stretch, let's get into it. We're doing 30 seconds, all right? I want you to cross that leg in front of you. I want you to extend this other leg back behind you. And I want you to fold this middle line and your belly button down towards that midpoint in the leg. And I want you to inhale, exhale. I want you to sink into that stretch. As you exhale, I want you to fold. I want you to bring your belly button down. I want you to pretend you're made of jello. You're just flopping into the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Sink into the floor. We're holding for 30 seconds. Ready? 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Keep breathing. Keep on sinking into the floor. Bring your belly button down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our first one. We gotta do the other side to finish because we're only doing one on each side. All right? Other side. Let's get ready to go. Leg is crossed over. Other leg is back behind us if you want. If you don't want to, you can obviously, like I said earlier, keep it off to the side, keep it straight, do whatever you want. But the forward fold is what we care about. Cool? All right. Midpoint, middle line, fold, breathe. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Sink into the ground, melt, dissolve. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Come on out of that pigeon. Come back into some sort of kneeling-ish position. And chill. Relax. Breathe. Whew. That is the fourth of our 5 stretches. All right. We're going to move on into our fifth stretch real soon. But before we do that, I need to let you know we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice a little bit of consistency to make the suffering that we're putting ourselves through a little bit easier so that it's more fun to stay consistent. All right. If you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, if you want to work on being more consistent, you need a little bit of help along the way, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe. We are here every single night starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're not in the Eastern time zone, we started 40 minutes ago. All right. And we do that every single day, Monday through Sunday, until I tell you otherwise. But for like the 99% of the time, I'm here. Cool. All right. Side splits. If you've never done a side split before, do not worry. We're going to break it down to lots of little small pieces so that you can work your way down. And we're going to do a whole bunch of different reps. If at any point you feel like it's too intense, you can stop. Or you can come up out of it a little bit and you can wait it out and skip to the next chunk. All right? I think that's it. We're ready to start. First thing I want you to do is grab a little bit of hand support. What is hand support, you might be wondering? That is something to let your hands support some of your body weight. All right, hand support. Because we want to get into a position that looks like this. Our legs are wide, our hands are supporting some of our body weight. Cool? This thing that you can use for hand support does not have to be a little folding stool like mine. But if you have a folding stool, great. I hope you go grab that immediately. It could be a short stool. It could be a taller stool. It could be yoga blocks. It could be any number of things that is lightweight enough for you to move around, sturdy enough to hold up your body weight so that you can get into your side split position. All right. Next, once you've grabbed whatever it is that you're going to use, I'll tell you about some secondary options that might also work. If you have a coffee table, if you have an ottoman that's light enough for you to kind of slide, okay, great. That'll probably be good enough. But you gotta be conscious of one detail, and that is we're gonna be really close to a wall. We're gonna get into a position where you're gonna be in a side split up against the wall, and I'm gonna recommend that you be able to slide your hand support out of the way a little bit so that you can come out of that position a little bit more easily. Because if you got a big, heavy, crazy thing right in front of you when you're in this position, you're like, oh no, I'm stuck. It's going to be a little bit hard crawling out of your spot. All right. So smaller ish is typically better. If you just have a kitchen chair, that will also do. All right. If you feel like the kitchen chair might be a little bit too tall, remember you can always put your elbows down. You don't have to always have your hands down. All right. Now bring it much closer to the floor. Cool. All right. Now that we have covered all those things, hopefully you've grabbed something and we're ready to begin. All right. I'm going to get rid of one of these pieces of foam so that one of my feet can slide on the foam and the other foot can stay stuck to the ground and I will be a little bit more stable. All right. What I want you to do next is take your hand support, take it with you, bring your butt to a wall, and get ready to open up your legs a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy, but what we're gonna do next is we're gonna fold and bring our belly buttons down towards the ground. Ready? Let's go. Whee! Fold. All right. From here, I want you to rest your butt against the wall. I want you to open up your legs just a little bit. Find a decently comfortable spot. Cool? From here, we're going to rotate our legs so that instead of having our knees basically pointing forwards, we're going to go boom, have our knees pointing upwards, have our toes pointing upwards, and have our heels down on the ground. All right? It's very important that you have your hand support. You're putting your hands on your hand support right now because otherwise your heels are going to be carrying a lot of weight and they're not going to like that. All right? So, now that your heels are down, your toes are up, your knees are pointing up, try to adjust your hand support. Find a comfortable position where your butt is resting against the walls, where your legs are, you know, wide, and your hands are carrying your weight a little bit. We want to find a position where you don't feel like you're about to slip, you don't feel like you're about to tip over, you feel like you're in control, you're almost comfortable. All right? The reason why we care about this is because if you feel like you're about to tip over, if you're like, oh, I'm almost about to fall, I'm so off balance, your muscles are going to start tensing really hard to try and save you from collapsing on the floor. All right? That tension is the exact opposite of what we want because when we relax, our muscles lengthen. When we contract, when we get tense, our muscles shorten. And we're trying to do some side splits right now. All right. So once you found a spot that is almost comfortable, almost perfectly stable, you feel like you're in control, we're going to breathe. Big breath in, inhale. Slowly exhale. See if you can let your split drop a little bit deeper on that exhale. All right. If you're not going anywhere, don't worry about it. Just if it happens, great. If it doesn't, don't stress. Inhale, hold, exhale. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Let's do it again. Inhale, hold, exhale. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. By this point, you've probably dropped at least one time. If you feel like you're off balance now, if you feel like you're out of control, you feel like you're about to slip, you feel like you're about to fall, take a second, adjust, find a comfortable position again, and we're about ready to get into our side split. All right. If you want, you can try and do a little tiny wiggle, push your heels out just a little tiny bit wider, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Otherwise, we're done. Our toes are pointing up, our knees are pointing up, the top of our head is pointing up. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Add a little wiggle if you want. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Walk your hands forward. Move your hand support out of the way. Some combination of finding a more chill, relaxing spot to chill in when you come out of your stretch. All right. If you're really heavily leaning on your hand support, you might want to just slide it out of the way and walk your hands forward a little bit. If your hand support is small enough and you're like, I can't move this right now, you might want to just crawl over your hand support and then create some room as you wiggle out of your spot. Whatever it is that makes sense for you, just get out of that stretch. Find a second, find a moment, rest and breathe. Ah, whew. We just put a whole bunch of tension into our legs, into our hips. into all of these muscles in the lower body. And what we got to do now is help reset because we got two more rounds of side splits. All right, that was just number one. We're going to get a little deeper, probably, for most of us. All right. And what we have to do in between is shake out our legs, reduce the tension. So shake out your legs, shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 flop. If you've never seen this before, what we're doing is just shaking out our ankles. All right, we want the ankles to flop to the left, to the right, to the front, to the back, and just flop all over the place. The looser your ankles are, the hypothetically more relaxed all the muscles around your ankles are going to be. Because if you were all tense, you would be moving around like a robot, right? If you're flopping around, going crazy when you shake out your leg, chances are your muscles are relaxed. Cool? All right. Make sure you have shaken out the other side. Even it out a little bit. Take a couple of steps. If something feels a little bit rougher than the other, shake some more. Even it out. And when you're ready to move on, we're going to move on into our hips. All right? I want you to put all your weight in one leg. I want you to put the big toe of the other leg down, like so. I want you to open up that hip so that the knee is pointing that away, directly to your left or right. And then I want you to contract the muscles here in the front of your hip to bring that knee in so that your knees are basically touching. All right? Then I want you to contract your glute muscles to help open up that leg, bring it back out. We're going to do a couple of these. If you're new to the show, focus on contracting those muscles, opening it up, closing it, building some range of motion, building some control, building some strength, getting comfortable with this motion. And let's switch. All your weight on one leg, big toe is down, knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out. All the movement is coming from this thigh bone rotating in the hip socket, all right? Everything else that I probably am moving doesn't actually have to move. It's just for fun, like this. Knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out. Doesn't have to happen. It's just this leg bone, all right? Shake out your legs one last time. We're going to get into side split number two. This time we're going to go a little bit faster because I'm not going to explain some of the why behind what we do. And I'll just give you the instructions, give you a second to jump into them, and we'll get into side split number two. All right, let's go. Take your hand support, bring it with you up to the wall, butt up against the wall, open up the legs, fold forward, put your hands down on your hand support, open up the legs a little bit wider, find a comfortable-ish spot, rotate the legs, boom, heels down, toes up, knees up, other side, heels down, toes up, knees up, fold onto your hand support, butt is resting against the wall, hands are on your hand support, legs are starting to drift a little bit wider. Find a comfortable spot where you are feeling like you're in control. Your version does not have to look like mine. It is perfectly reasonable and perfectly possible for yours to be like this and for you to be maxed out right now. All right. And regardless of where you're at, we want to find a comfortable position where you're in control. All right. We don't want you to feel like you're about to tip over. We don't want you to feel like you're about to lose balance. We don't want you to feel like you're about to hurt something or pull something. So get into a comfortable position however you need to, where your hands are on your hand support, your butt is against the wall, your feet are down, heels up, heels down, toes up, knees up. All right? From here, we're going to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Again, inhale. Hold. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Add a little wiggle if you want, so you can get just a tiny little bit more. These are optional. You don't have to push yourself. We're going to get into side split number two now. All right. This time, I want you to lean forward a little bit so that your knees and your toes are pointing up at a 45-degree-ish angle. When you do that, you're going to put more of a stretch into your inner thigh muscles. That's what we want. You can do this with the hand support. You can do this on the floor. It is up to you. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Add a little wiggle. See if you can get a little bit deeper. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. If you feel like the stretch isn't enough for you, you can always bend your elbows a little bit, take some of the support out of your arms, put more weight into your legs, and start your suffering that way. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, crawl over your hand support, push it out of the way, do whatever you got to do. Find a comfortable spot for you to rest in. That is our second side split. We got one last one. And before we get to it, we're going to shake out our legs. All right, shake out the tension. So, breathe. One more big breath in. Exhale. Relax. And let's get into standing. Let's work on shaking out our legs. Just like before, we're shaking out our ankles. We're getting nice and loose. Then the muscles flop around to relax. And I'm going to switch to the side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Relax. If you're new to this, it might be a little bit harder for your muscles to relax. You might want to spend a little bit more time shaking out your leg. If you've been doing this for a while and you know your legs start flopping around going crazy right away, feel free to shake some more. If you want, feel free to start adding some other movement, relax the rest of your body while we wait for people who are trying to figure out for the first time to catch up. All right, we're gonna move on into our hips. All your weight is in one leg, big toe is down. We're contracting those muscles, bring the knees in. Contracting those muscles in the glutes to bring the knee out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out. When you're new, start on building that technique, build that form, build that range of motion. When you've been here for a while, you can go a little bit faster. Go in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Whew, have fun with it. All right. Other leg. All your weight on one leg. Big toes down. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And whew, one last final shake. We're getting ready for side split number 3. Bring your hand support up to the wall, butt against that wall. Open up the legs a little bit, and let's get ready to fold. Bring the belly button down. Whee! Hands on your hand support. Legs are a little wider. Butt is against the wall. Let's rotate the legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Let your butt slide down the wall. Adjust your hand support. Find a comfortable spot where you feel like you're in control. You're not falling, you're not tipping. And let's breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Relax. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Third time, inhale. Exhale, relax. Woo. If you got an in you for another, go for it. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little bit deeper. If you want, do a little wiggle to the right and left. See if you can get just a little tiny bit further. Push those heels out, and we're ready for side split number 3. You got the option of doing side split number 1, where the toes are pointing up, the knees are pointing up, the head is pointing up. You got the option of doing side split number 2, where we walk our hands forward just a little bit, we lean forward a little bit so that our knees and our toes are pointing forward at like a 45-ish degree angle, and you're feeling more of a stretch in your inner thigh. I'm going to be doing a variation of side split number 2, where I'm using my muscles to hold up my whole entire body weight. All right, let's go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. -1, -2, -3. All right, that's enough. Put your hands down. Walk your hands forward a little bit. Bring your legs in underneath you. Woo. Come on out of that position with control. Sink into something that's a little bit more chill, a little bit more relaxing, and that is side split number 3. We've done the really hard stuff. Now it's time to relax, time to recover, time to reset so you can crush whatever else you got left for the rest of the day. All right? Oh, when you're ready, come on back up into standing. Take a couple of steps. Oh, and let's shake out our ankles one last time. Shakety shake, 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 shakety shake, 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 shake some more. I want you to imagine that you are a soggy, overcooked piece of pasta, some spaghetti, some angel hair, some noodles, and I want you to flop, 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 flop. We started with just the ankle to begin with, but if you want to combine the whole leg and you want to start flopping and shaking and kicking, that would be awesome. The more relaxation you can get in the leg, the more easily you can relax your muscles on demand, the more easily you'll also be able to contract your muscles really hard and get a little bit of more output out of them. That has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of our show, but when you know how to relax, next time you do a set, when you're fully relaxed, you're recovering a little bit more and you're able to get a little bit more contraction out of it too. Cool? To a certain extent. There's a finite limit to how much you relax and how much more you can contract. That's limited by your strength and by the length of your muscles. But that's neither here nor there. Shake out your legs and move on to your hips. All your weight in one leg. Big toe the other leg down. Knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out, and in and 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 out. Other side. In and out, and 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 in and out. Woo. Check out your legs one last time. We're going to get into our final two moves. We're going to wrap up with some joint checks. If you're new to the show, you haven't seen these just yet, so I'm going to explain them. We're going to do some hip circles, nice and slow. I want you to really lean into that hip. I want you to drop down. I want you to feel the tension as you stretch out those hip muscles. Slowly come on around. Ooh, ooh, feel it in your glutes. Feel it in your low back. Feel it in the side of your hip. Feel it in the front and all the way around. If there's any spot where you're like, ooh, that was kind of intense, feel free to spend some extra time there. Give it some extra love. And when you've done a couple of rotations one way, switch it around, go to the other side. Oh, and two. Whew. One last one. Three. Whew. Shake it out. We're going to move on into some crazy calf raises that challenge our whole lower body. All right. What I want you to do is open up your legs about hips width apart. Not crazy wide, not super narrow, just about hips width apart. All right. From here, I want you to drop into a bit of a squat that looks like this. I want you to lean your upper body forward, and then I want you to push your knees in that direction as well. When you bring your knees forward, you're going to feel a stretch here in your Achilles tendon, in your calves, and that is what we want, because when all of your weight is tipping over that way, your toes are going to kick in. They're going to grip into the floor real hard. The arch of your foot is going to kick in to keep you supported, and we want all those things, all right? From here, we're going to do some calf raises. Hold on to the wall for support if you need it. Hold on to the mat or the floor if you need it. And we're going to come up onto our toesies as high as we can in that calf raise. All right. Lean forward. Feel that stretch. Come on up. Hold it. Come on down. Reset. Feel that stretch. Come on up. Come on down. Keep going. Reset. Up and down. Reset. Up and down. I think that's three. Reset. Four. Reset. Five. Six. Seven. You can slow it down to make yourself feel that suffering a lot worse. 8, 9, and if you can do 10, great. If you can't, that's fine. Don't worry about it. All we just did was put a whole bunch of different joints, different muscles, different tendons through a whole bunch of work. And that includes the toes, the arch of our foot, the Achilles tendon, the calves, the quads, the knees, the ankle, the toes, the feet bones, the glutes, the low back, because all those muscles are probably going, what? That was a crazy calf raise right now. So if you're able to do 75, 80% of that last thing, that last calf raise, chances are your lower body is working just fine, and you can go back to doing whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility and consistency. I was like, am I missing a third thing that I usually talk about? I hope you had fun. I hope you're cooling off. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I hope this is a nice way to wrap your weekend. Assuming you're not, I don't know, somewhere where it's still like 2 in the afternoon or something. But I hope you come back soon. Wow, this turned into a really weird. I had to throw in a joke, and now all of a sudden I'm thrown off my groove. Good thing it's Sunday. All right. I don't only make side split and hip mobility content. Most of my content is around trying to make fitness a little bit more fun, helping you see the world as different ways to get a little bit of extra movement in to help you with your movement. If you got 2 minutes waiting for your microwave to heat up some food, waiting for your coffee to come out the machine, you got a couple of minutes waiting for something to cook in the pan, you can step away just a little bit and you can do something really simple like calf raises, right? We just did a handful of calf raises right there, and just doing 10 reps probably felt crazy, right? It'll be crazy for most people because we put ourselves through a crazy calf stretch, and then we came all the way up as high as we could, then we came down with control, and if you could do 2 minutes of those nonstop, that would be absolutely insane, right? If you do 2 minutes of squats. That would be insane. If you could do 2 minutes of lunges, if you could do 2 minutes of the Cossack switch that we did earlier today, that would all be really, 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 really crazy and also probably really good for you. All right. So don't sleep on those 2 minutes. Don't treat those little tiny moments where you otherwise would have doom scrolled anyway as if they don't count. They absolutely count and they're really good for you because you can get just enough work that you're a little tired, but then you won't be so beat up that you're like, oh, I don't want to do anything else for the rest of the day, right? So treat them as a cool way to add some blood flow, get you jazzed, get you grooved, and hopefully make your day a little bit better. Also, your joints will love you for it, all right? Your joints don't have blood vessels like your muscles do. When your muscles get injured, they heal real fast because they got fresh blood pumping all the way through, feeding nutrients, taking waste, doing all that good stuff to keep you healthy. Your joints don't have those things. They take much longer to heal. You need to physically move in order to get some of the goopy stuff around the joints that feeds nutrients, that takes away waste to move. It needs to literally move for the waste to go away. It needs to move for the new fresh stuff to come in. So having a little bit of movement, especially if you're sedentary a lot, if you sit a lot and you don't do very much, is going to go a long way. So even if you're just doing something real simple, like super light calf raises while you're in your chair, or if you're just stretching out some muscles, leaning back and forth, those all do count and they do help. All right. So now that we've covered all those things, is there anything else I need to talk about? It's Sunday night. We already did our morning lives. Those are done for the weekend, and we have Sunday night, or sorry, Monday through Sunday lives, doing some side splits. If you like the side splits, I'm going to be putting together sort of like a, I don't know, like a PDF, a guide to help find and list out some slightly easier versions, maybe some more complex versions, to give some additional guidance to help sort of give tools to people who want to take it to the next level, get a little bit of extra intensity out of the same time, or maybe for new people who are not quite ready for the version that we're getting into, right? So that they have a version that might work for them. That is coming out soon. If you're looking forward to it, you have any specific questions or anything you think I should definitely be answering in that document, in that freebie, let me know, because then I will know so I can put it in. All right. All right, that's it. I'm gonna come over. I'm gonna take a look at the chat, and if there's anything I need to respond to, I'll respond and do my best. Keisha says, Ken, you said pigeon stretch before the butterfly stretch just to trigger me. Yes, absolutely. That is 100% what happened. It was because I was thinking of how to annoy you the bestest way possible. Keisha says, what's up, Side Splits crew? Welcome back, Keisha. And I know, as soon as I said it aloud, I was like, oh man, what an error. Jax sends lots of excited emojis. Is that, what is that? Can I do my toast play? Sure, I guess. We can work on some toast stuff. I did a bunch of toast stuff the last 2 mornings because we were doing like some light joint work to warm up, and by the time we work all the way down to our ankles, the toes are just right there to work on. All right. So toast play. I don't actively work on this at all, so I'm not making progress. I don't think. So I'm not sure if that is helpful for you. But your toes, for everybody who's still on, are very similar to your hands. They got lots of muscles, they got lots of joints, they got a lot of feelers and sensitivity, and you can absolutely train them to work really well and be very dexterous and do cool things. One of the things that you can work on right away is trying to spread your toes the way you would your fingers, all right? Or trying to lift your fingers up like so, lifting your toes up so that the ball of your foot, the heel of your foot, is down on the ground and your toes are pointing straight up as high as you can. All right? You can experiment, you can play with this. You can do the opposite. You can make fists with your feet. You can clench those toes. All right? Imagine you're trying to grab something, you're going, whoosh, you're trying to lift it off the ground. That is what we want. Clench and open, and clench and open, and clench and open. And you can do that with your actual fists too. You don't have to clench super ultra hard, all right? That'll just make you really tired and fast. But what we do want to do is use the minimum amount of energy and effort necessary to get as much range of motion out of your toes as possible, all right? That might mean you gotta work pretty hard and lift pretty hard right now. Over time, as you learn how to use your toes a little bit more fluidly by practicing, it'll become easier and you won't have to struggle as hard. All right. So if you're just starting to move your toes right now for the first time, you're like, what the heck? Don't worry about it. You get better with time. All right. Next, what are we going to do? If you want to experiment with your foot strength, I want you to try to curl your toes, grip the floor, and sort of pull yourself forward. All right. Pull, 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 pull. See if you can slowly move forward using just your toe strength, dragging the rest of you forward. Your toes are really strong, all right? And they can continue to get stronger with a little bit of training, a little bit of love. What else? Your toes, just like how your fingers can kind of go back like this or down like this, can do the same thing. All right. You can bring the toes backwards. I know it looks crazy. It looks probably a little uncomfortable, but your toes can absolutely be trained to do this a little bit better. Cool. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? You can also separately control your toes. All right. Most of us are not going to be able to separate like your middle toe to do something crazy. That's a lot of training and it's probably unnecessary, so you don't have to focus on that. But your big toe is one of those toes that's kind of very important for balance, for pushing off of things, for athleticism, for changing direction real fast. That happens a lot on your big toe. So having some extra control of just your big toe is really helpful. One of the things you can do is see if you can plant all your other toes and just lift the big toe. The other thing, the opposite thing, is lift all of your toes except your big toe, and then switch back and forth. I am struggling with it, and that's why my fingers are actively moving, and I'm staring at my toes to make sure I'm doing what I say I'm doing. And I definitely do not train these very often or at all, and so my fingers are really struggling to keep up. But I know my toes can do it enough-ish usually. So, hopefully that was enough toe stuff for you. All right. Let's continue. Ooh, I gotta go solve a puzzle on TikTok because it thinks I might be a bot and I failed the puzzle. Let me try it again. There we go. Puzzle completed. I'm gonna take a quick look. There's only 17-ish people left on TikTok at the moment, so this is a good time to remind you. If you somehow haven't yet, hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back. Bryce says the best. Lois says thanks, Ken. Thank you, Lois. Thank you for coming back. It's good to see you. Adrian says, thank you! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Chase says, lol. Travel Doctor says, I don't like the pigeon. I'm team figure four. We had a question come in, I think. I'm going to look for. Mystery says, got here on time. Thanks. Amazing. Chase says, welcome, y'all. Oh, lovely. Thank you for sending good vibes into the chat. Bryce says, thank you for all you do, Ken. You're very welcome. Rosie is thanking Travel with Roxy. And Travel Roxy is trying to help answer questions. Rosie says, can you show from first exercise and second exercise again, please? I joined in late. Rosie, if you are on right now, let me know in the chat. I'm going to scroll down in a second to see, and I will explain the first and second one again for you if you're on. If you're not on, then we'll skip it for today. Katie says, why does everything hurt as a hypermobile person? Okay. I honestly don't know anything about being hypermobile because that is not me. I have been stiff my whole entire life, and all of this stretching is hard. But I would imagine if you are innately a little hypermobile, you got something we call like double jointedness. If your elbow, when you try to straighten out your arm, your elbow like kind of pops in that way, sort of, like the opposite of this, that would cause you pain because your joints, I don't think they're really designed for them to go that far. So having that innate looseness in your ligaments, innate looseness in your tendons to allow you to go a little further, go a little beyond, means you have to work a lot harder to control your range of motion, right? Because if you let it go to its maximum, you put pain into that joint. So you have to actively contract your muscles to get a little less than your full range of motion. For most people, that's not going to be a problem. Most people are going to be too stiff to get to maximum range of motion, and we're all trained to get a little bit more. But if you have a little too much, it's the opposite. You have to contract your muscle. You have to focus on keeping that joint safe. All right. And that is a huge con. This is actually not a con that only applies to hypermobile people. It applies to mobile people and just people who are relatively flexible in general, people who train for flexibility, right? The most elite sprinters in the world tend to be very stiff in a lot of muscles, especially in their legs. Part of the reason why that's the case is because they need that stiffness in order to put power into the ground, right? If they're too flexible, if they're too floppy when they're sprinting and putting 10 times their body, however many times their body weight worth of force into every step, they're not going to be fast. Being loose does not, make you that good of a sprinter. So when you're relatively mobile. You got a lot of ankle mobility, calf mobility, knee, hip, whatever mobility. When you're running, when you're trying to put power out of that, there is a balance between how much power you can put out and how mobile you are. Most people, normal people, would typically benefit from a little bit more mobility so they can get into crazy positions more comfortably because you're like experimenting, and trying new things, and trying to keep injury free. But when you're performing at an elite level, and your only goal is to generate as much power in this very specific, unique way to your sport, being mobile isn't necessarily all that useful for you in that context, right? So, hypermobile impacts relatively normal people, but if you're trying to become a strength athlete, having too much mobility also gets in the way of being an athlete because you have to contract your muscles really hard just to do the basic movement of your task. If your muscles are really stiff and you don't need that extra relaxation at any point, you just need that tension so that you can power through and pound through your sprint or whatever it is that you're doing, then having that mobility actually makes you a worse runner because you have to focus a whole bunch of energy on contracting. Cool? All right. If that sentence didn't make any sense, let me know. Anyways, I'm gonna scroll down and see if Rosie is still here. Rosie, I don't think it's still here. So we're not gonna go explain warm up exercise 1 and 2. I don't think. And what else? What else? What else? I'm scrolling up, 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 scrolling up. Yamami asks, do you go live every day at the same time? We absolutely do. Storm says, ideally I would have gone up an hour earlier today, but life happens. Keep up the good work. Storm, thank you for hopping into the chat, letting me know that you were here. You tried to do the live, and I appreciate that you tried your best. All right, because there's no reason to beat yourself up. It could have probably been better, but that's okay. Fitness happens when fitness happens. So when it happens, when you got the motivation, when you're feeling good, when you're perhaps subscribed and followed, and you doom scroll into my content to get a healthy little reminder to get a little bit of exercise, you should take advantage of it. You should appreciate it, and then when it happens again, enjoy it. Cool. All right. But if you actively want to work on consistency, hopefully you can make it to the live a little bit more frequent if this is like part of your way of building consistency. Cool. Charles Roxy says, hello, everyone. And I'm scrolling to the top, I think, because that seems like an entering the live message from the very beginning. Boom. All right. There we go. That's done. We got a handful of people left on the live. Let's see. Bryce says, the best. Che has liked the live. And I think that is everything. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I hope if you watched the World Cup, you enjoyed the World Cup. Uh, I hope you're ready to wrap up because I'm out of stuff to say, and I just had like multiple brain farts on this live today. So I'm gonna call it right here. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. doing more hip mobility and more side splits. Keisha says good night. Oh, thanks again, Ken. You're very welcome. And True Blue says see everyone tomorrow. And Che sends some nice emojis. All right, peace out. I'll see y'all soon. Bryce says see ya.